that is in here is actually not made for American girls because American Girl is much smaller. These foods are much bigger. For example, this can is about this size, but it is still playful. There are lots of things here to buy, and sometimes the dolls can use it, but these are bigger foods that I won't show only because they're much bigger, not necessarily for the dolls, so I'm going to keep this to the We are going to be looking at Chapter 1 of Julie Albright's Be Forever book from 1974, and it's from the Be Forever collection. As you could tell, I had lots of fun making my own notes. You could turn your novel also into part notebook where you write your notes so that later, whenever you reopen it, you know exactly what happens and it's easier to remember the story. I'm going to be reading the text and leaving out my notes. We are doing Moving Day, Chapter 1. The world spun, first upside down, then right side up again, as Julie Albright and her best friend Ivy Ling turned cartwheels around the backyard. "Watch me do a backflip," called Ivy. She leaned back, stretching her neck like a tree bending in the wind. Soon her shiny black ponytail bounced upside down as she twirled through the air, landing perfectly on 2 feet. "I always fall flat on my face," said Julie. "I'll never be as good as you, no matter how hard I practice." She sighed. "I'm sure going to miss doing gymnastics with you after school every day." "I'm going to miss playing basketball in your driveway," said Ivy, "even though you always beat me." Julie stuck out her lower lip and made exaggerated sad face. Both girls fell down laughing. Then they stretched out on the grass, folding their hands behind their heads and gazing dreamily at the clear blue sky, a perfect September day. "Hey, look," said Julie, pointing to an airplane high up in the sky. "Maybe that's my dad." "Hi, Dad," the 2 girls whooped and yelled and waved. Mr. Albright was a pilot. Julie always waved at every airplane she saw, imagining it might be her dad flying to some exotic, far-off country. "What are you going to miss most?" Julie asked. "Walking to school together and sitting behind you in class," said Ivy. "Passing notes and braiding your hair with the teachers not looking." Julie had long, straight blonde hair, and Ivy could make a teeny tiny braid down on one side in seconds. "Who am I going to be lunch buddies with?" said Julie. "You're the only friend in the world who would trade me your Twinkie for a pickle." "Julie," Mom called from the back porch as she took down hanging geraniums, "time to get a move on. The van will be here in half an hour." Julie and Ivy turned cartwheels all the way to the back steps. "I guess I better get going," said Ivy. "Not yet," said Julie. "Come up to my room with me while I make sure I'm all packed." Upstairs, Julie scooped up Nutmeg, her pet rabbit, from her favorite spot in the laundry basket and plopped down cross-legged next to Ivy on Mom's old footlocker. It was covered with travel stickers of Big Ben, London Bridge, and the Eiffel Tower. Ivy stroked Nutmeg's velvet brown fur while Julie scratched her pet behind her floppy lob ears. Nutmeg snuffled softly and her sleepy eyes started to close. I'm sure gonna miss you, girl, said Julie, kissing her on her wiggly nose and snuggling her whiskers. But Ivy's going to take extra special good care of you whenever Dad's gone. Julie took a long last look around her room. Ghosts and posters that had once decorated the walls formed an empty gallery around the room, showing off the flowered wallpaper. Craters in the blue shag rug made a strange moonscape, a map of where Julie's desk and dresser had once been. Boxes were piled up everywhere. It looks like a fort in here, said Ivy. Remember when we built that fort out of clay we dug up from the garden and we dressed up our little kiddos in old timey clothes? I remember, signed Ivy. The room turned mid of the night quiet. Julie and Ivy couldn't look at each other. I still can't believe you're moving, said Ivy, flashing her dark eyes at Julie. It's only a few miles away across town, said Julie. It's not like I'm moving to Mars. I won't be able to blink lights at you from across the street anymore to say goodnight, said Ivy. But we can call each other up, Julie pointed out, and you'll still see me on the weekends when I come visit my dad. There was that lump again. She felt it every time she thought of being without Dad. She thought she'd gotten used to the idea of her parents being divorced, but now that she wouldn't be living with Dad anymore, suddenly it wasn't just an idea, it was real. Here, said Julie, I made us friendship bracelets. We can both wear them and think of each other. She handed a colorful knotted bracelet to Ivy. Neat, said Ivy, and it's red and purple, my favorite colors. Red and purple are my favorites too, said Julie. Also blue, green, pink, and sometimes yellow. Put it on my ankle, said Ivy, holding out her foot. Hey, do you have a magic maker? What for? Asked Julie, taking out a pen from her box of desk stuff. Give me your foot, said Ivy. Julie held out her once clean high-top sneaker she had doodled all over with markers. Ivy wrote something on the rubber tip of the toe. Julie peered at the letters. A-F-A. A friend always, said Julie. Julie's big sister, Tracy, poked her head into Julie's room. Mom says to start bringing our stuff down. Set it in the front room. Not yet, Julie protested. Just a few more minutes. It was bad enough they were making her move. Now they were taking away her last moments with her best friend, too. Mom says now, said Tracy, sounding annoyed. Just got up and tried lifting a too heavy box, then set it back down and began dragging a garbage bag across the floor instead. Now I know why they call it Labor Day, she grumbled. I guess I better go, for real this time, said Ivy. Julie nodded. The two friends hooked pinkies in a secret handshake they'd had since kindergarten. Neither girl wanted to be the one to let go first. Julie, Tracy, and Mom sat cross-legged on the floor of their new apartment, holding cardboard cartons of Chinese takeout. Mom had pushed a few moving boxes together to serve as a table, and their dinner was spread out on top of the boxes. It's so great here, said Tracy. I found this cool stairway you can climb up at Fransworth. You can see all the way to the new skyscraper that looks like a pyramid. She paused to slurp some noodles off her chopsticks. And you should see all the groovy shops I passed along High Street when I went to get the takeout. Julie admired the way her big sister was always so confident about everything. She wished she could be certain she'd like it here. My favorite part is that we live above the shop now, said Mom. Think of it. To go to work, I just have to run downstairs. A few months ago, Mom had opened a shop downstairs at street level on the corner of Redbud and Frederick with windows that faced both streets. Mom's shop was full of homemade stuff such as purses made of worn-out blue jeans. The shop was called Glad Rags. Mom had told Julie the name was from the Rod Stewart song that went, "The handbags and the glad rags." The name was Tracy's idea. She had heard the song on the radio. "How about Julie?" asked Mom. "What do you think you're going to like best about living here?" Julie glanced around the room. Tiny rainbows of color danced across the empty walls, flashing from the prints Mom had hung in the front window. "Well, I especially like the dining table," Julie decided, pointing to the boxes that were eaten on. Mom and Tracy laughed. "The real dining table isn't put back together yet," said Mom. "I couldn't find the screwdriver." "Couldn't find the hairbrush either, huh, Mom? Have you looked in the mirror lately?" asked Tracy. To Julie, her 15-year-old sister was a teenage hair freak. Tracy actually used orange juice cans for curlers to straighten her hair. Julie looked over at her mom's tumbling brown hair, held it in a saggy bun with a pair of her hair sticks. "Tracy's right, Mom. You should see. You have a big giant hair bump." "More like a camel hump," said Tracy. The two girls leaned back, laughing. "Hey, what can I say?" asked Mom. "It's hard to look like Miss America on moving day." Mom's bangle bracelets jingled as she tried to pin her hair back. The doorbell rang, and Tracy ran to answer it. "Mom, it's some guy," she announced. Julie looked up from the kitchen chow mein. Standing in the doorway was a curious-looking man. He had a bushy red beard and wiry red hair, and he wore a patched green army jacket and a baseball cap. "Hank," said Mom, standing up. "Come on in, girls. This is Hank, a friend from neighborhood. He was my first customer the day I opened the shop." "Far out," said Tracy. "Hank, these are my girls, Tracy and Julie. I've heard a lot about you from your mom," said Hank. "Here," he held out a plate covered with foil. "I made some of my famous zucchini to welcome you to the neighborhood." "Yum," said Julie and Tracy, peering under the aluminum foil. "Thanks," said Mom. "Can't wait to taste it. Can you stay for some tea?" "No, I'm on my way to a big meeting about the vet center, but thank you." He handed Mom the foil-covered plate, tipped his cap at Tracy and Julie, and left. "That was so nice of him," said Tracy. Mom nodded. "Hank's a good egg." She set the plate on the kitchen counter. "Now, where were we?" "Let's get this footlocker into your room, Julie." "You're going to help me fix up my room, right?" Julie asked. "Of course, honey. I need curtains," said Julie, "and a lampshade for my light." "You can make curtains," said Mom, "and decorate a lampshade. Hey, how would you like one of those fuzzy rugs in the shape of a foot?" "Perfect," said Julie, helping Mom clear away the leftovers. "I volunteered to wash the dishes tonight," said Tracy. "There aren't any dishes," said Julie. "We ate out of the boxes." "Exactly," Tracy grinned. She pretended to practice tennis against the living room wall with a fake racket. First her forearm, then her backhand. "Did you guys know that back in the olden days, before they even had rackets, people used to play tennis with their hands?" "I had no idea," said Mom. "I just can't wait for school. I'm going out for the tennis team. Maybe debate too, but definitely tennis." Tracy chattered on. "Someday I want to go to France, the French Open." "What's that?" Julie asked. "It's only a world-famous tennis match. Chrissy Everett won the Grand Slam there for the last 2 years in a row." "My sister's a hair freak and a tennis freak," Julie announced. Tracy pretended to lob the ball right at her sister. 15 love, said Tracy. "I don't see how I'm going to start a new school this week," Julie said when Mom came to tuck her in. "I don't even know where a pencil is, or my binder, or anything. What if I have left some of the stuff I need at Dad's? What if I get lost trying to find my classroom? What if nobody talks to me and I can't find a friend?" "Honey, I know this is all new, and it's not going to be easy at first," Mom said, sitting down beside Julie on the bed. "But I'll take you the first day and meet your teacher and make sure you know your way around." "And how could the other kids not like you?" Mom reached to hug her. Julie squirmed away. You don't understand. You know, when I was your age, Grandpa moved us to France for a year. I could barely speak French, and I was so sure nobody would ever like me. What happened? Julie asked. Well, there was this one girl in my class. She kept trying to tell me my dress was pretty, but I thought ta robe est belle meant she wanted me to rob a belle. I finally figured out what she was saying, and we had a good laugh. Eventually, we became best friends. I never knew you lived in France, said Julie. So those stickers on your old footlocker are real. You saw the Eiffel Tower in person. Sure did, said Mom. Look, I know starting over is in a new place is scary. It's scary for me too, starting a new business, but sometimes you just have to trust in yourself and take a chance. Mom kissed Julie on the top of her forehead and turned out the light. The next time we get around to opening up more Be Forever books, we're going to get around to chapter 2 and go from there. First, we're going to need to get those clothes. So, in here, I have my parcels. I know I never get around to actually showing all of them. It takes like a whole day to do. But anyways, so we're going to grab this bag. I'm going to try not to drop it. That bag, and because we're doing the Bitty Babies, I will also like to use this one. There are some Bitty Baby things in there. So now that we've chosen the bags, I want to go ahead and get the dolls out. I have a new storage room for them, so I'm going to open up the curtains and then I'll show you what it's like. So this is the new and improved doll room. It's much bigger and the lighting is way better. There's spotlight up there. So I have some shelves up here, and I was really trying to go for a place that could store the most things on the shelves. That way the heavier furniture is just at the bottom. So some things are assembled, some things aren't. It's really on what fits on the shelf and what is not too heavy that I can stack on top of each other. So, these things that somehow managed to stand up there. And then I have dolls waiting. I don't have every single thing here. I am in the process of building a doll room. I was thinking of either leaving all the furniture this way or assembling them to look like a little doll. All the accessories that I had shown a few episodes ago are in Ziploc bags, so I don't have them scattered everywhere. And the Baby Babies are also here. So yeah, now that we have the dolls and the bags, I might as well get them dressed. There are a lot of items of clothing there, so what I'm going to do is toss them on the ground like I usually do, choose a few pieces, and then dress them against there so that you can see what's there. Years and years of collecting doll clothes, but they're not actually every item. Well, anyways, let's go ahead, start with the doll. I have here one of my dolls. She's gonna wear something athletic, and these flip-flops actually didn't come with it, but this outfit didn't actually come with shoes because it's a yoga outfit. So I added the flip-flops. So let's dress her. Corinne here is actually wearing all dark hair. And she's wearing a cheerleading outfit because she feels like being athletic. And it comes with another pair of underwears, but that is just so when she moves around, you don't see her other underwears. So let's get her dressed in that. Here we have another doll. She's gonna put on the airlines outfit. She feels like being the airplane collection. So she's gonna be the flight attendant. It has the blouse, skirt, the little scarf, belt, and slacks. Here we have another doll. She's gonna wear the street chic top that came from my dolls. These cheerleading tights, and these new little boots, and this also here we have a doll who wants to celebrate her birthday. So she's gonna wear the birthday dress, the headband, and the shoes that came with it. Here we have another doll. She's gonna wear a Be Forever outfit. And so it's the robe, the dress, slippers, wait, I guess it's a jacket, depends on how you style it, and a headband. Here we have a doll that wants to wear something athletic. So it comes with these pieces, and then I added the jacket and the shoes. We have here another doll who also wants to wear something athletic. They come with shorts, shoes, and a pair of gloves. Here we have a doll that wants to wear a Be Forever outfit. Comes with dress, stockings, and trousers, and shoes. Here we have a doll who also wants to wear a fun Be Forever outfit. And it also comes with shorts, dress, and shoes. Here we have a doll who wants to wear something from a Girl in Big Hair collection. There's overalls, there's scarf, boots, and top. Here we have a doll that wants to wear something comfortable, so she's wearing a pajama dress, also known as a nightgown, with slippers, and I added some socks. Here we have a doll who also wants to wear a fun Girl of the Year outfit, so it comes with all those. Let's get her dressed in it. And here we have my twin babies who are going to be wearing very comfortable and so now we have the three dolls that I have on this. And let's go ahead and take a look. Though I think this world is a real nice place, but we think that it's a crime that we should have many sisters that pick on us all the time. So next time they're sleeping in the room, we're gonna sneak in and tie her, and then we'll take her out into the street and see if someone will buy her. Sister for sale, only 50 cents. Sister for sale, they're not a big expense. You can hug her, you can bug her, you could buy or rent. Sister for sale, only 50 cents. Hey, would anybody like to buy a slightly used sister? Even if you have one, I will trade her for another. He will help you with the chores, and she's really clean. The only problem is sometimes she can be so mean. Sister for sale, only 5 cents. Sister for sale, she's not a big expense. You can hug her, you can bug her, you could buy or rent. Sister for sale, 25 cents. If I knew I were selling her, we would really get it. Buy her now, don't pay till June on approved credit. She will now and will tell you what we will do, mister. Even if we have two little baby sisters. Sister for sale, only 10 cents. Sister for sale, she's not a big expense. You can hug her, you can bug her, you could buy or rent. Sister for sale, only 10 cents. She will always pick you up when you take a fall. And she's really good at you how to catch a ball. She always tells these funny jokes and does this crazy dance. Hey, wait, she sounds like a pretty nice girl. Let's give her one more chance. Our sister's not for sale, not for any price. Our sister's not for sale, we guess she will suffice. We like to hug her, we like to bug her, we really rather nice. Our sister's not for sale, not for any price. I think we should go give our sisters a big hug. Me too. Even though we don't always get along, at least we're a big bunch of sisters. Yeah, I agree. We are looking at American Girls Interstar University, A Girl's Best Friend. This book doesn't come with chapters. It's actually create your own ending. So we're going to read through a few pages and then we'll pick up later. It's puppy time, you say, nudging your friend Isabel. You're on your way to Pet Palooza, a daycare center for animals. You and Isabel just graduated from a pet sitting course, so you can finally volunteer at the center. The manager of Pet Palooza leads you down the hall to find Amber, the head volunteer. She's in a sunny room surrounded by dogs of different shapes and sizes. Amber introduces you to the pups, who bound over all at once, leaping and yipping excitingly. Isabel pets a little Yorkie named Sugar. You're drawn to Pepper, a husky pup with sky blue eyes. He seems to have more energy than all the other dogs put together. As you walk around the room, Pepper chases after you. You toss a toy in the air, and he chases it. This is so fun. You turn to Amber and ask, "After you show us around, can I take Pepper outside to the play area?" "Sure," Amber answers, "but keep an extra close eye on Pepper. He sometimes runs away." You can't imagine that. The husky pup is sticking pretty close to you. Your loyal pal is following you everywhere. Now it says turn to page 10. Sure enough, though, when you're working at Petpalooza a few days later, you hear a scritch scratching and high-pitched whine at the front door. You glance up and see Pepper staring at you through the glass. He's not supposed to be at the center today, Thursday, but here he is, his leash dragging behind him and his owner nowhere in sight. Petpalooza is in a busy corner of the shopping square. You're horrified to think that Pepper was running around out there all by himself. You open the door and Pepper jumps all over you, covering you with sloppy dog kisses. It's like he ran all this way just to pay you a visit. You lead him into Pepalooza so that you can ask the manager what to do. She's out running an errand, but you find Amber in the back room. Amber pours Pepper a bowl of water to help settle him down. 10 minutes later, a tall woman with her hair in a ponytail bursts through the door. It's Pepper's owner, Miss Thompson. "Oh, I'm so glad he's here," Miss Thompson exclaims. "He's safe," Amber assures her. But you say nothing. You're wondering what took Miss Thompson so long. If Pepper were your dog, you'd never let him get away. After that, you decide to take extra special care of Pepper. You spend lots of time playing with him. You even start to pretend that he's your own. Turn to page 12. A couple of weeks go by, and you've nearly forgotten about the incident. Petpalooza is buzzing with talk of the upcoming Parents' Day, a chance to show pet parents some of the tricks their pets learned while at Petpalooza. There will also be a craft and bake sale to raise money for a local animal shelter that cares for homeless animals. You're on your way to Petpalooza, thinking about what crafts you could make for the fundraiser, when you spot a major commotion on the sidewalk ahead. Several bouquets of flowers have fallen off a flower cart, and one bouquet seems to be rolling down the sidewalk. No, running down the sidewalk, in the jaws of a gray and white pup. A bunch of girls are chasing the dog, laughing and screeching as they try to grab the bouquet. With a burst of speed, the animal tears ahead of them. The dog stops and turns its head for just a moment before disappearing around the corner. It's Pepper. Now here we decide how we want the story to go. We could either, if you take a shortcut to try to catch Pepper, turn to page 14. If you run to join the girls who are following Pepper, turn to page 15. I'm going to say we'll take a shortcut, so let's go to page 14. You run through an alley to try to cut Pepper off at the pass. He's too fast. He's already racing down 5 Points Plaza, his leash dragging along behind him. Pepper stops for a drink at the fountain and then dives into the water for a swim. But not for long. When he leaps out, you're within reach of his leash. You grab it firmly. Pepper yelps out a happy to see you. Then he shakes his body to dry off, spraying you with cool water. "What am I going to do with you?" you ask Pepper. He answers with a couple of wet kisses. It's Saturday, a day when Pepper isn't normally at Petpalooza. That means he must have run away from home again. The thought makes you angry at the Thompsons, but you can't focus on that now. You have to figure out what to do. You don't know where the Thompsons live, but you could take Pepper to Petpalooza. You hesitate. Your clothes are wet. Plus, you're almost as close to your room at Bright Star House as you are to Petpalooza. Pepper is looking up at you with his bright blue, trusty eyes. We can continue the story again some other time, where we get to choose which one. So it could either be, if you take Pepper back to your room so that you can change, turn to page 16. Or you lead Pepper straight to Petpalooza, turn to page 19. I'm going to choose 19. So here is where we can continue off some other time. As you hear the story, you can go and make your own story also in your notebook.